Hello, amazing listeners of the Becoming You podcast. This week has been very intense. One thing led to another, and there was this uproar on social media about the hypocrisy of humans and how people only get the affection, care, and love that would have given them a reason to live longer after their deaths. This led to a very public debate, and people started to express their opinion. On one hand, some people actually believe that we do not owe anybody anything and nobody owes us anything in return. Nobody owes us care, love, affection. And on the other hand, we have people that believe that we actually do owe the people in our lives, at the very least, affection, our time, our money. I found the arguments presented by both parties to be very, very interesting, and I felt it would only be nice for us to have the conversation on the podcast. So today we'll be talking about this. Do we actually owe anybody anything, or are people just feeling entitled to our love, affection, care, money? Before I get right into the conversation, let's do the usual thing. How are you doing? How's your week coming along? I hope you're doing great. I hope you're fine. How's your mental health? I'm doing good, and as usual, I'm trying to take life slow, a step at a time. I'm trying to move. I have something exciting I'll be sharing with you on the next episode. I wouldn't be spilling the tea now, but it has something to do with me trying out something very, very new and very strange. I'm going to be trying out something new. I'm excited about it. Something to just spice up my life and make my life a bit more interesting. And I'll be spilling the tea on the next episode. Welcome to the Becoming You podcast, where we talk about the complexities of adulthood. I am your host, Bukola, and if you're listening to us for the first time, welcome to the club of adults who are just trying to figure things out a step at a time. Kindly subscribe, hit the subscribe button, kindly subscribe to the channel, like, share, and drop your comments. Let me know how you're doing, and feel free to drop your takes on the conversation we're about to have. What else? I feel like someone that is giving this announcement after a church service. New episodes of the Becoming You podcast are uploaded every Saturday, so tune in. That'll be all for the announcement section. Now let's dive into the conversation of the day. Right before we dive in, let's hear what these amazing people think of the adulthood phase.
Adulthood is responsibility.
Adulthood is complicated.
Adulthood is growth.
Adulthood is maturity.
Adulthood is being independent.
Adulthood is stressful.
Adulthood has been confronting.
Adulthood is draining.
Adulthood is decision making.
Adulthood is resilient.
Adulthood is overwhelming.
Adulthood is fun and adventurous.
Remember, I'm not here to demonize this phase, but to say it as it is. I've heard a lot of people say things like, we do not owe anybody anything and nobody owes us anything. When they say anybody or nobody, they mean nobody. They mean family, friends, acquaintances, colleagues, strangers. So anybody actually means anybody, and anything actually means anything, from love, affection, kindness, respect, money, prayer. So anything is anything. The first time I came across this argument was on Twitter, or I came across this point of view was on Twitter, and I was shocked for a while. I was trying to understand, okay, where is this person coming from? What do you mean by we do not owe people anything? And I was just trying to understand. I find Twitter to be a very, very interesting space. It's a very interesting space. You can just get to see how other people understand life. For people like us, we don't get too deep, and we just stay at the surface level. During conversations we find interesting and just keep things moving. So that being said, when I first came across this school of thought or this opinion on Twitter, I was surprised to see a lot of people supporting and seconding it. A lot of people were like, yeah, preach on, you're saying the right thing, this is what should be done, we don't owe people are just entitled, and they just feel entitled to us. And to my surprise, with the recent conversation that ensued about we owing people anything or anybody owing us anything, I can see that the school of thought, or this school of thought of we not owing anybody anything, is gaining popularity quite easily and very, very fast. But it's only natural it does, because viewing life with that lens, or seeing things from that angle, makes things less cumbersome. What do I mean? Let's be sincere with each other now. Between you and me, or me and you, that it's not easy to shoulder the responsibility of other people. It's not easy to be there for other people. Like a school of thought that just tells you that you do not have to be there for other people, I think it just makes things easier for a lot of people, and they just tend to join the bandwagon, because kind of like the idea of living carefree and not having to put other people into consideration when making decisions or when doing what they want to do or living life the way they want to live. You're talking about being there for people. It's a job, it's a full-time job. It's not easy to learn the listening ear. Even after listening to people, it's not easy to give advice because you don't know what the person wants to hear. You don't know if you're saying what the person wants to hear. You don't know what you would say that will hurt the person. You don't know what you would say that will be used against you. So it's very complicated. Regardless of its complications, I really don't think the solution dealing with the complexities of being there for one another is totally abandoning the need to be there for one another. I kind of find people who live by the principle of we do not owe anybody anything, be selfish and narcissistic. I battled with this pronunciation, but I was like, I'm going to use this word in the podcast. Yeah, that was the word that came to my mind when I was thinking about it, and I'm going to use it to express myself. Narcissistic. People that think that way, to be narcissistic and selfish. Because what do you mean by you do not owe your parents anything? To defend this point of view, people say things like kids did not ask to be born. So as a parent, if you're giving life to another person or you're bringing kids to life, you have to automatically take up the responsibility of caring for the kids, and as such, you should not expect anything in return from the kids because it's your duty to care for the kids as they did not ask to be born. But I always give my counter arguments. If you feel you do not owe anybody anything as a kid, I think parents also have the right to think that they do not owe anybody, including their kids, anything. Yeah, fine, we did not ask to be born. We have to understand and come to the realization that our parents had the option of either caring for us or not. They had the option of either training us or not. They had the option of either coming through for us steadily or not. So if you have a parent that cares for you, that made sacrifices for you, that showed up for you, that is always trying to be there for you, and you want to pay them back by saying things like, we do not owe anybody anything. I mean, think about it. They didn't owe you all that, and they did all that for you. They constantly went out of their way to be there for you. The least you can do, or the least we can do in return, is to be there for them. Show them the love, show them the affection, care for them in return. I strongly believe in the principle of reciprocity. Treat others how you want to be treated. So if your parents constantly showed up for you, it's only right you show up for them. And if they did not, I'm not going to say what should be done. It's in your hands. You can do whatever you want to do. But if they did come through for you as parents, I feel the least we can do is to show up for them. Parents aside here, because family is even something we do not get to choose. We have to live with whatever we're given. So parents aside, family aside, when we talk about friendship, how do you have friends when you believe you do not owe them anything? If you believe you do not owe your friends anything, I think it's actually going to be better for you not to even have friends. I wouldn't be friends with somebody that thinks I do not deserve their time, with somebody that thinks I do not deserve their kind words, their support. I'm big on support. And like I said earlier, I'm big on reciprocity. My friend even thinks it's a problem. Maybe it's a problem, but I just feel like when someone shows me love, I have to show them love in return. When someone is kind to me, I have to be kind to them. And because I want people to be kind to me, I want people to show me love, I want people to be empathetic with me, I try to do the same to other people. I don't know if it makes sense, but let me put a disclaimer out there. Being kind to people does not mean and does not equate that they'll be kind to you. No this and no peace. It doesn't work that way. Being kind to people, being nice to people doesn't mean they would always be nice to you or people would always treat you right. Because we still have people out there that believe that they do not owe you anything. And yes, they are in their right to actually believe that they do not owe you anything. Talking about we being better adults, we making the world a better place, we have to get rid of that principle. During the week, my sister is trying to help me to put myself out there. She's trying to help me to be consistent with my social media. Well, I say consistent to just be more out there on social media. We both agreed that we'll be doing Motivation Monday, where we drop all these videos with the sounds and everything. So she sent me this video by a popular person that I do not know. I really don't know the person. She was giving advice on how we can be successful. I know she said something along the line of, for you to be successful, you have to neglect people and focus exclusively on you as you climb the ladder, because holding on to people just makes you very heavy and you're unable to climb the ladder of success. So when you now finish climbing the ladder, then you can look back and help people. According to her, it took her 10 years of abandoning her family. It took her 10 years of staying away from her friends. It took her 10 years of of not being there for people to attain the level of success that she actually did attain, or that she has actually attained. And I told my sister point blank, we would not be posting this video. And she was like, why? I said, because I do not agree with the principles of this person. She said some things that are right here. I mean, we travel faster when we travel lighter. It's just common sense. But then 10 years of not being there for people, how do you actually repay those people back for those 10 years? How do you actually compensate them for being absent for 10 years? I've heard a lot of people say things like, oh, for you to actually make it. I was having this conversation with a friend of mine here recently, and I was telling her how people were saying that, a lot of people are poor, or a lot of people are unable to accumulate wealth. A lot of people are unable to become rich. A lot of people are still poor because they hold on to their responsibilities to their family. They're trying to be there constantly for their family as they're trying to build their success, and it holds them back. It stops them from getting to where they want to get to. I know, like, the basic point of this was the person was trying to say you have to abandon your family for a while to be successful. Then after you're successful, then you help your family. But have we actually stopped to think that your family members or your friends or the people you're trying to abandon to are not going to be stagnant, waiting for you to make it and come back to help them? Hell no. I believe the more the merrier. When you're going up and you have your friends going up with you, you have your sisters, your siblings going up with you, you have your family also like doing their things, more interesting. It makes it less lonely. Life is very vain. And the things that give meaning to life are these little things, these little moments. Yeah, so we can't say, oh, we have to get there before we come through for the people that care about us. I'm not really just talking about financial help now, by the way. All kinds of help, emotional, financial, spiritual, all kinds of help. Spiritual, I mean prayers. I mean helping people in prayers. We can't say we have to get there before we remember our family or our parents. What if they are gone before you get there? And where is there? We humans, we are very, very insatiable. So like, we're getting here and we just keep thinking of how we're not satisfied with here and we want to get here, and we keep moving and moving and moving. So what if the people you care about are gone before you get there? Let's move away from talking about how we owe our family and friends love, affection, monetary assistance and whatnot. Let's move to the larger circle, to the society. I'm sure many of us have come to the realization of how vain life can be. I know the little things that give meaning to life are the impacts we're able to make, are the changes we're able to make, how we're able to make the world a better place. When we're talking about making impacts and changing the world, many of us just think about charity and investing millions in charity organization, in helping people, and we just think we'll be able to do more when we become successful. Yes, we'll be able to do more when we become successful. Making impact doesn't start and stop at the macro level. In the micro level too, things can be done in your immediate society. As a person, you don't have to have all the money in the world to make impact. You can make do with what you have. Believe that living an impactful life just means that you're trying to make life worth living for another person. You're trying to make life a better place for somebody else. It doesn't actually mean trying to do the big things. It's good to do the big things. If you're able to do the big things, fine. But start small. It starts with us. It starts with our attitude. Within our capacity, what are we doing? What are we doing to make somebody else smile? We owe people our kind words. We owe people our actions. We owe people giving them renewed hope. We are social beings. We cannot live in isolation. Socializing can be very annoying for some of us. We might just want to just be on our own most of the time. We don't want interference. We don't want people in our spaces. We don't want people in our lives, disturbing us, which is fine. I think it has to do more with your personality. But when we're talking about owing people and making impact, it just means you're not trying to make somebody else's life more difficult. You're not trying to make somebody else's life more challenging. You're doing your little, you're doing what you can in the little way you can to just make somebody else smile. As adults, we can't be there for everybody at every time they need us. That is true. We are busy. Being an adult will just teach you what the word busy means. It's not easy for us to come through for everybody whenever they need us, to come through for everybody however they need us. But we can try. Do the little you can. When somebody comes to your mind, when you think about somebody, reach out to them immediately without procrastinating. Tomorrow might be too late. When somebody comes to your mind and you feel the need to reach out to them, please reach out to them, because you're thinking about them, because probably they need you to say something to them. You would be surprised that reaching out to them when you think about them is very, very, very timely. and you'll be surprised at the impact your words or what you are going to say to them is going to have in their lives. I really try to just reach out to people because I understand that we are going through things. We're just trying to take life slow, trying to come through for ourselves. It's hard enough to be humans, and I just really believe we just have to be kind. To make things easier for ourselves, we just have to be kind. The memories, be there for your loved ones, be there for people, be there for your society. Make somebody smile, be civil in public places. You don't have to be rude to people unnecessarily. Talk to people kindly. You don't have to say things that would make people go and think about their lives. If you don't have anything nice to say, please keep quiet. Give people good and positive remarks. And if you're going to give them remarks that are not too positive, learn to do it in a very, very constructive manner. Don't say things that will bring people down. I try to use my WhatsApp status to catch up with my contacts because it's very normal for us to forget people. Some people are not in our faces, they are not in our lives like every other day. We don't have to think about them every other day. So it's very normal for us to forget about them. But thank God for WhatsApp status, we can just see what's going on with them. So if I see somebody that I just feel like, it's been a while, I reach out to the person. I try to catch up with them by commenting on their pictures. Like, I just see the picture and the picture is actually good, and I'm like, oh, you look beautiful, you look fine. And I even want to take it to another level, of just like saying to people randomly, like when I see someone that actually looks good on the road randomly, I can just be like, oh, you look good, oh, you look fine. But I don't know if I'll have the courage to do that, and I don't know how it's going to come off. But yeah, do not be stingy with your remarks. Like, you can just say something harmlessly, but you're actually giving somebody else a reason to leave. You see somebody doing something good, just tell them, I like what you're doing, keep doing it. Don't be stingy with your comments. And if you're listening to the Becoming You podcast and you like the Becoming You podcast, don't be stingy with your comments. Just let me know, oh, Vicky, your podcast is nice. Just say it when you feel it, say how you feel it. Show people that you care, let them know you care. Don't make people make assumptions in their head that, oh, this person is supposed to know that I care about them. Nobody knows what you're thinking about. Nobody knows what is in your mind. People just get to know what you express. Express it, show it in your society to show people that you actually care about their well-being. It doesn't have to be monetary. You might be thinking, oh, you don't have the capacity financially to like make impacts, but it could be in other ways. It could be with your time. You can just look for an orphanage home around, who knows, and just find something you can offer to the kids there. It doesn't have to be something they can eat. It could just be something. It can be your presence. Your presence can be transforming their lives in a way or another. So yeah, in essence, what I'm trying to say is that we owe people kindness, we owe people love, we owe people our affection, we owe people gentility in quotes. Yeah, we owe people these things. Yeah, and being kind or believing that you owe people these things doesn't make you a people pleaser. There is a thin line, but yeah, there's a difference. In fact, I think the line is more than thin. There's a difference between being a people pleaser and being kind. You don't have to always be available when you have things to do for yourself, or you don't have to not come through for yourself because you have to come through for people. So like, being nice just means like you're trying to make people happy and you're trying to be nice. Or you don't have to do it at the expense of your wellness or your well-being. So yeah, please don't be a people pleaser. Learn to say no. Let's say, no, I'm not available at this time, but we can talk some other time. Let's learn to be kind. Let's learn to be kind adults. Being an adult is not easy. Be kind with your comments on social media. Everybody has what they're facing. Everybody has what they're going through. Be kind physically at your workplace. Be kind. Be kind. Just be kind. Just be a kind person. Just be nice. Just spread love, and let's just do the little we can to make the world a better place. Yeah, so that'll be all for today's episode. Have a great weekend. Remember to take some time out though. Remember yourself. I know that everything is going hot, but try to prioritize yourself. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. Catch you on the next episode. Do not forget to live every moment and leave no room for regrets. Remember to follow this channel so you get notification whenever I drop a new episode. Thank you. Bye.